No, I think that the EQ can actually be usable. It's a fucking EQ. But like their concept of how they're, you know, and also the fanboys are kind of annoying. But I think that I'm sure it works. I'm sure it cuts frequencies, boosts frequencies. You know, you can change the Q. I'm sure that all works. You don't have to not buy it. I was a bully in that. Did he not play the same fucking thing over and over again that has not changed at all? For just absolute savage destruction. I'm going full fucking savage for this one. So how many of you guys use Pro Q? Whatever, 3, 4, 2, 1, whatever. Here we go. This is my friend. His name is Josh. You got to love the picture that I froze of him. Let's be nice to him. It's not a joke. He's trying hard. But I have different ways that I'm going to go about. I'm going to go off screen, and then I'll come back on. We're going to go surgically through this. Are you guys ready to go surgically? Here we go. I'm ready for you, Josh. And the plug-in boutique. I will leave the screen. He's got the feel-good Christmas tree in the background. I like how he says in the beginning, producers.
Just dropped Pro Q4, the end of the year special. In this video, I'm going to talk about what's new, what's improved, and what you need to check out when you get your hands on this incredible EQ. First up, adding EQ curves gets so much easier and even a little fun. All right, so the first cool thing.
I just want to know, do you have your headphones on so that you can really hear everything that he's about to demonstrate for you? Do you have your headphones on? Do you have your speakers set up in perfect symmetrical? I'm going to like bring you to another level of plug-in understanding here. You're in front of your monitors. You're ready to go. Surgeons, can Plug-in Boutique buy him a fucking mic stand for his SM7?
Before we get into the really fun stuff is this sort of outline. So as I drag up, you'll actually see right here, and if I click, that outline becomes an active filter, which is really great. So if I come up really high and over to the left, you'll actually see that it becomes a shelf. And that's the same thing with down here. That's a low cut. But if I bring it up, it becomes a low shelf, and so on. So
all reasonable information. That's reasonable. Nothing crazy there. Nothing to shame him about there. I'm going to stay in the screen here until we get to some juicy shit. Continuing on.
Really far down, we'll get a notch. This is just a really easy way to add filters or see.
Now, why is there like bullshit music playing underneath while he's talking? Cruddy abstract music underneath.
It's going to be without having to add a filter and then change the type. So if I know I want a notch, instead of having to do 3 or 4 clicks, I just come down here and I'm going to get a notch.
That's brilliant. I'm all for it.
Really, really great boost in workflow. Absolutely love it. Now the fun doesn't stop there. We've got
the fun is only beginning.
The new EQ sketch tool. If I click right here.
Here we go.
Let's say I want to low cut that and then boost it towards the highs. Look at that. The sketch that I've just drawn.
Look at that.
Has been created with however many filter nodes Pro Q4 thinks I needed. Next up, spectral dynamics. This is perhaps my favorite new feature.
So Pro Q4 will add shit that it thinks you need. Is that cool?
It's so OP. Let's check it out.
What is so OP? I don't know what the fuck that even means.
All right, the next incredible new feature, and it's probably the highlight in my opinion, is the spectral processing for EQ nodes. I've got this piano here.
Did you listen to that? Listen to that piano right there.
And if I make this node a dynamic EQ, right?
Do you hear any difference?
You'll see that the cut's happening very broadly, and that's going to be based on the Q value of the EQ node. But that's quite limiting, or it can be. If you want to be more precise and more surgical, you can use spectral processing, which will take this range and divide it up into individual frequencies or bins. And to do that in Pro Q4, you just click right here.
Okay, I did that on purpose. Did anybody hear anything fucking different?
You'll see that the cut's happening very broadly.
I see
and
it.
That's going to be based on the Q
I
value.
don't know if I hear
of the
any
EQ
fucking
node. But that's quite limiting, or it can be. If you want to be more precise and more surgical, you can use spectral.
Did you catch the word? Surgical? I don't hear a fucking difference. Listen to that again.
You'll see that the cut's happening very broadly, and that's going to be based on the Q value of the EQ node. But that's quite limiting, or it can be. If you want to be more precise and more surgical.
I mean, is the shit in bypass? Or is he fucking with us? I keep looking to see like somewhere that it's in bypass because I don't hear anything.
You can use spectral processing, which will take this range and divide it up into individual frequencies or bins. And to do that in Pro Q4, you just click right here.
It's like literally someone hitting the pad on a fucking MPC with the same sample.
You will immediately see that it's not a very broad one. It's actually happening way more precisely based on the incoming signal.
Did he not play the same fucking thing over and over again that has not changed at all?
We have more controls. If I click right here, I have the density. So this is how many bands are in there, right? So if I pull it all the way over here, it will be a much broader cut, almost similar to if I didn't have.
If you're going to do a broader cut, I'm pretty sure it's going to be really drastic.
Spectral on. So you can see it's almost like the same thing we had before.
It's almost like the same exact fucking sound you had before.
A little more precise, or a lot more precise, but it's still pretty broad.
This guy,
you should quit the business.
If I pull this all the way over now, you can see.
I would challenge you to take every one of those times that little keyboard riff plays and sample it and put it on like 16 different pads on your MPC and realize that it's the same exact fucking thing.
See that like individual notes are triggering it. And of course, we still have threshold controls. We've got our...
Nino, I can hear a fly pissing on blotter paper. You can hear a mice pissing on cotton. I like that one.
Attack and release will also apply to this new spectral processing as well as just the dynamic EQ. And we also have the resolution button over here. So we can go low, medium, and high.
I mean, he's got to be joking. He's playing the same fucking thing over and over again, and he's acting like we're supposed to, like, what?
You can actually go very high and maximum, but you'll see that we'll get a warning here. And this says you can't combine solutions with a dynamic EQ. Now, the dynamic EQ itself also...
This is the greatest. Like, why does he have to hold the fucking SM7? I don't dislike this guy. I don't know him. Here we go.
I've got a couple of updates. So I've got my bass line. And we're going to use a dynamic EQ node to duck
the dynamic EQ node, motherfucker.
Get out of the way of the kick. So if I just click and drag down.
Of course, we haven't heard the kick yet, but he's dragging the node to get the bass out of the way of the kick.
That's a pretty standard cut there, and we don't want to do that because that's just going to cut no matter what. If I hold Control and click right here, it will set the node back down to 0. And if I just come over here to the outer ring of the gain knob and pull to the left, I'm going to get reduction dynamically. So right now it's reacting to the bass itself. We're going to change that in a second. If I click right here, you can see that we've got the band right here. If I switch this to...
Now, why does he have to have that other music playing underneath his talking while he's supposedly showing us how to EQ a bass with relation to a kick drum.
Free, I'll now have the filter. I'm not getting the sidechain signal yet. This would still be if I wanted to, say, duck the bass out of the way of some upper frequency content of the bass. This might be helpful in drums and stuff, but obviously not bass. Internal sidechain, which is right here. If I click that, I'm now going to get the signal. Now, depending on what type of DAW you have, you want to send the sidechain signal into the Pro Q4. And Ableton Live, that's right down here. I'm just going to use the drum loop. And now, if I go ahead and play, you can see that that's reacting.
You can see that that's reacting. See it. See that shit.
But we don't know what to.
We don't know what it's doing, but we see it.
So there's a couple of ways we can do that. If I click right here now, I'll hear what the filter is listening to. So you can see right now I'm filtering the sub bass to the hi-hats.
Yeah, that's a really fucking good idea.
I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but that's what's happening.
And then you're like, I'm not sure why you'd want to do this, but I'm doing it.
Now, another way we can do it is turn off the headphones and come to
the headphones. That's a fucking icon for headphones, but it means like you're listening to the sidechain source.
And just engage the sidechain. And now we'll see the purplish bit is the bass and
the purplish bit is the bass.
The red is the drums. So now we can use that and take the filter over to just where that kick is.
I mean, did I tell you I was going to go savage mode on this motherfucker? I mean, we're about halfway done.
It's happening. And we can even, again, engage the headphones just to be absolutely certain.
Engage those headphones.
And now we can just go from here and do whatever we want. We can pull down how much of reduction's happening. We can adjust the threshold. And now
some guy in the comments on my video today, some guy said, seeing all the instances of Pro Q4 is like looking at an analog console. I didn't answer him back, but I mean, like, listen, man, you can only see one channel at a time. Unless you have fucking like 4 eyes and you could look at like multiple channels at the same time, like you can only look at one EQ at the same time. It doesn't matter. And like, it's not the same. Like if I wanted to look at the bass EQ and it was on channel 2 of a console and the lead vocal was on channel 28, I can't see them at the same time. And do I need to? Fuck no. I'm continuing.
That we have the attack and release parameters. For a sidechain, you generally want the attack to be super fast. And the release, I would say, I'm just going to leave it where it is. It's perfectly fine.
Of course, this has nothing to do with something like in the context of a song or an actual mix.
And you just need to make a decision from there on how much you want to cut. And it's that simple. Now, once you've got Pro Q4...
You wonder if old boy will do a response video? How? How could he do a response video? What is he going to say? Here we go.
Scattered throughout your project, and you've got all your filtering you want happening, you're going to want to check out the new instance view.
So this is really where you get down, man. I can see 80 cues all at the same time, and I can see where everything's fucked up.
So when you have multiple Pro Q3s in a project, and you come down here, and click, you can now see it all in one spot. This is my sort of little navigation window, and I can go up and down, but I can also zoom in or zoom out and really see what I want.
He could see what he wants. Here we go.
I can use my...
What is dude gonna do for us now? He's gonna straighten this fucking mix out right now with all the nodes. He's got all the instances. He can see what is going wrong with the mix.
My mouse wheel to go up and down or use this little navigation.
He's surgical.
Window over here. And whatever one you have selected is what will be used to show masking. So right now I've got my...
Masking. I mentioned that in my last video. Masking. There's no masking on fucking, ill communication. There's no masking on Illmatic.
My vocal, and if I play it,
I'm like Ninth Wonder right now. I'm loving this.
these red highlights are telling me, listen, that's where masking is happening for whatever you have selected.
Thank God there's something to finally tell me where the masking is. The surgical mask. This guy is fucking unbelievable.
In this case, the vocal. Now, I can also come in and tweak any of these that I want.
Yeah, I mean, but hopefully FabFilter will tell you what to tweak because you clearly have no fucking idea what to do.
Isn't that crazy? Now, the fun doesn't stop
This is crazy. You are correct there, dude.
up there. If I click right here, it will become even more dynamic. I love it. If I hover over something, it will get bigger so I can...
Yeah.
Now, this will be relative to whatever the size is. So depending on how much you need, and again, my mouse wheel will allow me to go up and down, or this little menu
This guy's a genius.
over here. Truly fantastic. We can search for anything we want. We can also use pins. So once again, let's come to my vocal. I want to pin my vocal.
Thank God you could pin that vocal.
I want to pin the strings, the piano. And now if I come over here, I will just see whatever I've pinned. Now,
Thank God. I don't know what the hell I'm even looking at, but I mean, he's figuring it out.
a renaming can happen inside of here. It will, by default, take whatever the channel's name is, but if you want to rename it, you can just do it inside, and now that's what it will be. It won't change in your DAW, but it will change here. And in terms of colors, so if I come out of here, it will update depending on whatever color you have. If I want to change this to a dark blue, or let's go pink, you'll see that it's updated over here. Absolutely phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. It's fun. I don't even know what happened. And it's $179, and this guy is trying to sell me on it. But it's phenomenal. I have no idea what happened, but it's all coming. It's all making sense to me now.
are a couple of DAWs that won't update titling or colors. You'll have
I mean, without the colors and the titling, it's not really a big deal because FabFilter is going to do everything.
to read the manual for that, but in Ableton Live, it all works. Now, there are a couple of other features that are worth noting when you're inside of here. One, I can copy this and paste it somewhere else.
Thank God.
Boom. The two new character modes are also
Here he is. I mean, can we, you guys talk about the squeaky chair, but can you get like some money together for this guy so you can get a mic stand?
incredible new feature. Another seemingly small, but actually pretty great new feature are the character options down here. So clean will be pretty much like Pro Q3, which is ultra transparent. Subtle will add a little
Ultra surgical transparency.
bit of warmth via saturation, and warm will add more, almost tube style saturation to the signal. These will actually affect the audio passing through the Pro Q4, whether or not you have filter EQ nodes on. Now, let me show you. So,
I don't want you to miss anything.
and if I just go ahead and turn it off, you can see here, that's just a peak, right? Watch what happens if I turn it on warm. So you can imagine as you begin to have a more complex audio signal running through, it's going to add more complex coloring to it. So that's the normal or the clean, subtle. So I would say it's really subtle. Definitely happening again in the really high frequencies over here.
I hope that you're learning what's going on here from this dude.
But I can't really see too much more of a difference. However, when we go to warm, you can really start to see. So if you see like right here, the dip happening, that's where the differences are. So you can see it on a lot of different places here. Definitely in the low end, right here in the mids to lows, and over here on the highs. Like it's happening all over the place, and it's really coloring the sound. And just a couple last shout outs of what's new and improved. There's also a new filter node called All
The filter node, make sure you get that.
Pass. This is what it looks like. You can adjust the Q and the frequency position. This can introduce phase adjustments without changing the gain. Another updated feature for those who are super precise, the low cut slope here. You've got all of your presets, but you can now go
It goes to 96 dB octave slope. I mean, isn't that like a brick wall?
Between those presets. Before, you'd have to choose, I believe there's actually more here than Pro Q3, but before you just have to switch between these.
Oh, brick wall is above 96. Okay.
But now you can actually come down and let's say I want 39 or 38.5. It will make that adjustment for you if you need to be that precise. There's just a few other things I want to read from the list for you because they are very significant, but it's not something I can show you in the video.
Yeah. It's a good thing it's a bummer that he couldn't show us because, like, it's all about seeing it.
Improved dynamic EQ processing for less distortion and a cleaner sound. There's improved precision in linear phase processing. There's also improved analog matching in zero latency and natural phase modes, and a bunch of other minor tweaks and improvements. I'm sure there'll be a full list on pluginboutique.com if you want to check it out. Now, not to mention, it looks better than Pro Q3, which is an achievement in and of itself because Pro Q3 and all of FabFilter stuff looks amazing.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Do you guys love it? Do you love the Pro Q4? Do you love it? Touch my node. Live keeps choking. I don't know why. It says here, excellent. It says my stream attention, golden ears. Yeah. Excellent coverage, it says. The background music may be stopping the stream. Maybe. Well, let's see. I love great looking songs. Was I nice to the guy? Was I nice? I like the Korg better. I mean, that got me worked up for 30 minutes. No, I think that the EQ can actually be usable. It's a fucking EQ. But like their concept of how they're, and also the fanboys are kind of annoying. But I think that I'm sure it works. I'm sure it cuts frequencies, boosts frequencies. You can change the Q. I'm sure that all works. You don't have to not buy it. I was a bully in that.